everybody, welcome back. This is Raze Chaos and welcome to my channel. I am so late with this. I told you guys I'd do this and I totally am going to do this. But first, right now, that's what we're going to do. Starting off with the Outsiders, the DC Heroes role-playing game, miniatures, metal figure set, the Outsiders, and the Outsiders and the Adversaries. So yeah, for ages 10 and up, this has got a copyright of 1986, which is fun because the Outsiders came out in 82, 83. So yeah, they weren't very old at all. I picked this set to go first because there's a lot of problems with this one. Okay, first, with all these figures, you've got the problem of the Outsiders and Adversaries. Now, there's 10 figures in here. And how do they decide who goes in and who doesn't? As a matter of fact, Black Lightning here is on the cover, founding member, but he's not a figure actually in this set. So if you're hoping to see Black Lightning, that's too bad. But yeah, the other problems that we have with this is there's a figure bit of where it lists the names of the characters, and here they've got two characters that are simply reversed. The name is not here, is not correct there. They just flipped them. Oddly enough, the villain group, the Masters of Disaster, is here in its entirety. But we are missing some Outsiders. So, yeah. Let's let you get a quick look at these guys so you can have a better idea of what's going on here. The Outsiders originally appeared in The Brave and the Bold number 200 in 1983. It was the final issue of the series, and the next appearance that they would make would be in their own title of the Batman and the Outsiders. Batman would later leave the series, and it would just carry on as the Outsiders and the Adventures of the Outsiders. The Outsiders were originally put together because Batman wanted to get involved in the war-torn country of Markovia when the Justice League refused to get involved. Batman, being Batman, decided to get a couple of other new characters and basically went off and did his own thing like he always does. The team was compiled of 2 former Justice League applicants and several characters who were created for the series. Geo-Force was the only other leader of the Outsiders aside from Batman. He took over after Batman left. He was pretty much squad leader whenever that happened. Other interesting things about Geo-Force is that his sister is Tara Markov, the character known as Tara, who eventually begins and betrays the Titans. He was actually mentioned in the Titans before he ever appeared in the Outsiders, before the whole thing started. So, yeah, he has been a mainstay. He is Superman level powerful, and he is just not somebody you want to mess with. But here he is in his tiny little form for all of us to enjoy. You know, it occurs to me that Metamorpho is the only character in this set that existed before the Outsiders comic series came about. I mean, of the opening lineup, it was Metamorpho, Batman, obviously, and Black Lightning. They were the characters that were brought into this series, and the rest were created for the series. But yeah, as far as the set goes, these role-playing sets, Metamorpho is the only character that was not created for the Outsiders comic set series. Huh. Well, Halo, or Gabriel Doe, or Violet Harper. Halo is an alien being who inhabited the body of Violet Harper. Since she was unable to be identified when she became conscious again, they basically used the pseudonym Gabriel Doe until they found out what her real name was. Gabriel Doe, in the same respect as John Doe. They really didn't know who she was or where she came from. Her powers were a mystery. Everything was a mystery. And yes, her finding out who and what she was a big focal point of the series. And finding that, along with her costume changes, which technically there were only two, but they were notable both times. There's not really a lot to say about her, so I suppose we should move on to the person that essentially adopted her. Of the two teams in this set, both the Outsiders and the Masters of Disasters, Windfall is the only character to have been in both. She is the sister of the leader of the Masters of Disaster, New Wave, and yeah, she eventually, being the teenage sister, she realizes it's not the life she wants, so she breaks off and joins the Outsiders. Her first appearance with the rest of the Masters of Disasters was in Batman and the Outsiders #9 in 1984. So yeah, the only thing left to say are the bad guys, the Masters of Disaster, and there's really not a whole heck of a lot to them. There was a lot of the teams the Outsiders fought were basically themed like groups of 5 to 6, mostly 5, usually wearing matching costumes, and yeah, not a lot of them have turned up since, except to die. I mean, they kill off some of these characters. The leader, New Wave, as you can tell from the cover, was very much a product of the early 80s. Yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot of detail to these guys. When I looked for their Wikipedia page, it was literally just a subsection of the Outsiders page. It just really kind of gave you a little bit of detail, but not much. So yeah, that's all you get with that one. New Wave was the leader of this group, and she tended to run along the psychotic side, I guess you'd say. Yeah, she yeah, she gets her name New Wave from the fact that she was essentially able to create or turn herself into water. They never really hinted on all the different ways that could be useful, so you just kind of have to take that as it came. She was, the one character trait they really pushed on her was that she was psychotic, and she would even turn on her sister, and didn't seem to mind that Shakedown had a huge crush on her teenage sister half the time. Windfall and New Wave were sisters, and yes, it basically led to more manipulation between the two, and that was all you really got from the story. I mean, they didn't really tell you much about their history except that it was troubled. So, I mean, what do you want? Probably the most interesting part of this entire team was that Heatstroke and Cold Snap were actually lovers. While they never explained why it was, but they could never touch due to their powers. So there we go. There are the figures to the DC Heroes role-playing game metal figure set, the Outsiders and Adversaries. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you found an interest in the Outsiders. They are a classic team, and they have come back with the last season of Young Justice. And I think they've made some appearances in the Black Lightning TV series and some of the other animated features. But I will be back with another one of these sets. I don't want to say which one yet, but yeah, I'll be back with another one of these soon. Try and get one once a month, but I have got so much going on and so much more to show you. I hope you'll come and join me.
What's up, guys? I'm Hendo, letting you know that you should subscribe to Raze Chaos because he's a dope guy.